Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth part in our four-part video series. Turns out it's gonna be 5 parts because things took longer than I thought they did. Anywho, today we're going to be talking about some basic programming logic. If I can spell logic correctly here. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about if, and or. So, let's say we have an input given by the user here. This program, what it's going to do is it's going to be, think of it like a test problem. So this test problem will ask, how many days in a week? So, we have input gathered by the user. Let's call that I. And the user inputs, let's say, 3 as their answer. Now, 3 as the input will go into our if statement given by this wonderful diamond. So we'll have if I equals 7, and then we'll have little curly brackets. But I'll explain it with just this flowchart to start off with. Excuse me. Now, you may have noticed that we have 2 equal signs here instead of just 1 equal sign. That's because 1 equal sign is used for assignment. So let's say int days equals 7. This tells Java that it can handle days and 7 in the same manner as an integer. But if we have if days equals 7, what this tells Java is to see if it's true, basically. To see if this is a true statement. So, if I equals 7, we have 2 different options here. Either we can say, yes, the input does equal 7, or no, the input does not equal 7. So if it equals 7, that means that they got it right. There are 7 days in a week. So we're going to go down to this program and do a system.out.println, which, like I said before, displays a message to the user saying blah, 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 congratulations, you know how many days in a week there are, you're an amazing person. All right. Otherwise, if it's not true, we're going to do system.out.print blah, 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 little quotes here. Blah, 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 you need to learn how many days in a week there are, and then be done. So this is what an if statement looks like. So let's look at how to code it quickly. Let's hop over to Java. We're going to continue to reuse our Hello World program. You can make new projects for each of these if you wish. It's really up to you. So we're going to keep scanner still, and let's just delete everything in here. So let's have an integer named days in a week, int days in a week equals 7. So this is how many days there should be in a week. You actually want this to be a final int because it will never change. You can think of finals as basically constants, so something that will never change. There's always going to be 7 days in a week unless you go to Mars or wherever you want to go. So final int, and with finals you want to use uppercase, so days in a week. Let's actually just do final int days week. My goodness, I just can't type today. I'm sorry, guys. So we have final int days week equals 7, and we have our if statement here. Actually, let's give the user a prompt. It's always good practice to give the user a prompt. Print line, how many days in a week? Question mark. So now we're going to want to use our scanner. So let's actually make the scanner up here. So scanner input equals system.in. Oops, sorry, I did this incorrectly. It's new scanner system.in. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do it. Sorry about that. So now we need our if statement down here. So we have our days week equals 7, and we have our input. So let's do if input equals days week. So this is saying if this is true, blah 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 blah. Oh, we need to do scanner input. Oh, sorry about that. We need to do we need to actually vary this a bit because this is a scanner. We can't refer to a scanner object in an if statement. So we need to do what do we want to call our int? Let's call it user input equals in dot next int. And this should work. So let's say if user input equals, this should be input here because it's referring to this scanner right here. Input, you see? So this is yelling at me because I need to put an int before it. As you can see, coding is not really a fine art, especially when I do it. I often catch a lot of things later. You really should look over things over twice before like submitting it. But it's a little bit difficult for me to do it in real time while talking to you and not do any errors, multitasking. So, so what we have so far, let me just walk you over it. So we have a final int days week equals 7. And we have a scanner input here equals new scanner system.in. This will take in whatever the keyboard enters. And then we have int user input equals input.nextInt. This should actually be after our prompt because we want to take whatever they put in after the prompt. So now we get to our if statement finally. And so we say if the user input is the same as days week, which equals 7, we can print them out a congratulations message, system.out.println. Congratulations, you can count. Exclamation point. Alrighty. And then we have else. So what else does is it says if this isn't true, we're going to do this one. You know what I mean? So it says if it's true, we're going to do this. Otherwise, we're going to do what's in here. So if they got the answer wrong, we're going to do system.out.println. You cannot count. System.out. Oh, we need a period there. System.out.println. Let's run this quickly. Let's see if I did it correctly. So how many days are there in a week? We do 3. And it says you cannot count. And our system has actually terminated because we don't have a loop. I will explain loops in a moment. Let's run it again. How many days are in a week? Let's say there's 7 days in a week. Congratulations, we can count. Hey, I knew it. I knew it all along. So what a while loop does is it says, so let's say while, let's say while, oops, let me redo this. While user input does not equal quit. Or let's say, instead of using quit, I want to keep it with numbers to keep things simple for you guys. So let's use 3. While user input does not equal 3. Let's make this a square. I apologize in advance. So, while user input does not equal 3, we want to come in here, take the user input, blah, 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 input. We take input, check it if, remember we have our problem here, days of the week equals 7. So it takes the input. Here's our if statement. If it's true, it does this, blah, 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 congratulations. If it's false, it prints out that they're false. And then it all comes back together into this main thing here. and it checks if the user input equals 3. So, and it just keeps doing this over and over until they input 3 to quit the program. And I'm just drawing these arrows to show you that it's going to keep on going over and over and over again. And if the user input does equal 3, so this will be no, it does not equal 3. If it does equal 3, it's going to go on to a different part of the program, and let's say it'll finish the program. Done. So, now here's our if statement that we saw before. This right here, these two things are in our paint. It's here. This if statement is what we're just looking at. So we have our yes and our no. This would be the if is true. This would be the else option. So going back to Java, there's if, there's else. System.out.println. Would you like to quit? Question mark. And let's say int quit int equals in dot next int. So we need that there. Oh, it's input. Our scanner name was input.nextInt. So let's see here. We have we actually don't want to what's called defining it. We don't want to define it down here because then it can't see it up here. So we need it up here. So let's do int quit int equals 0. So this basically tells the program that we have a variable called quit int. So while quit int equals, remember we have to have two equals, while it equals 0, do this. Would you like to quit? And then let's say 1 for yes, 3 for yes, 0 for no. Now let's see here. It will take the quit int, which will be 3 for yes or 0 for no. If it's no, if they don't want to quit, it will keep doing this while loop. But if it's not 0, then it will quit. So let's come outside of this while loop and say system.out.println done with a lot of exclamation points. So let's run this quick because we're running out of time. How many days are there in a week? There are 5 days in a week. You cannot count. Do I want to quit? 3 for yes or 0 for no? No, I don't want to quit. How many days are there in a week? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe there's 3? Ooh, no, we still can't count. 3 for yes or 0 for no? Oops, I'm running out of space here. How many days are there in a week? There's 7 days in a week. Oh no. Oh, I crashed the program because I accidentally hit a backslash. You can actually make Java ignore that, but I'm not going to cover that because it's actually quite a complex subject. It's not that complex. You'll be able to figure out. You're smart cookies. But how many days are there in a week? There are 7. Congratulations, we can count. Do I want to quit? No, I don't want to quit. I'm doing well. How many days are there in a week? Oh, there's probably still 7. Oh, great. We can still count. Do we want to quit? 3 for yes, 0 for no. Now, let's put in 3. Hey, we're done. We finished. So that's some basic logic for you guys. I hope you got something out of this video. This is actually getting pretty complex. I skipped a lot of important concepts in the middle. So I encourage you to learn more for yourself because this is starting to get advanced. And if you had trouble following along, don't feel bad because it's pretty tricky stuff, to be honest. Especially the syntax is what it's called. Syntax is just how you type in commands into Java. It's some complicated stuff. So if you don't quite understand something, it's no big deal. It's not a problem. In our next video, we're going to be giving you some resources for different programming languages and basically maybe even some more tutorials for Java programming if you want to continue in your computer science knowledge.